The fears of MSG in Malaysian households have been around for decades. We've all been told that MSG is bad for you, but has your mom ever given you evidence why? Before that, let's dive deeper into what MSG actually is. According to the US Food and Drug Administration, monosodium glutamate, or MSG, is essentially the salt of a common amino acid called glutamic acid. This acid is naturally present in our bodies and in many food and food additives. That means, even if we remove food additives, glutamic acid has always been present in our diets. In 1907, a Japanese chemist, Professor Kikunai Ikeda, began research on a traditional Japanese seaweed broth. Made from seaweed and dried fish flakes, it was called dashi, the base of all ramen broth today. He succeeded in extracting 30 grams of monosodium glutamate from the liquid that was used to simmer 38 kilograms of dried kelp. This unique flavor is what we now know as umami, the fifth taste. MSG first made its debut in the medical world through a letter published in the New England Journal of Medicine by Dr. Ho Man Kwok in 1968. It was titled The Chinese Restaurant Syndrome, or CRS. Kwok claimed that he experienced numbness at the back of the neck, general weakness, and palpitations after eating at Chinese restaurants, specifically in the US. The anti-MSG movement started in America in the 1970s based on the vague understanding of CRS. Despite Americans consuming MSG in products ranging from snacks to baby food, the ingredient has come to be widely accepted as unique to only Chinese restaurants. But here's the science. Dr. Kwok's letter served as a catalyst for a flurry of experiments in both animals and humans. The most prominent study to date was conducted by a Dr. John W. Olney in 1969. He concluded from experiments on mice and rhesus monkeys that MSG induced brain lesions, but 19 other studies by other researchers failed to show any similar results. Dr. Olney in 1969 told the New York Times that his own findings on MSG raised questions about its safety for pregnant women. That was a pretty alarming statement. But his study only examined the effects of large doses of MSG injected into pregnant mice, a method no human would ever use to consume MSG. Since Dr. Olney's undertaking, there have been numerous clinical studies done regarding the effects of MSG on human health. The commonality of all these studies show that MSG has no negative effect on us.
Oh, that's so good.
Ian Mosby's 2009 paper, as well as a study conducted in 2019, showed that early studies of MSG were either flawed in execution or interpretation.
Well, actually, it turns out that glutamic acid can be found naturally. It's found in Parmesan cheese, it's found in tomatoes, and indeed that's why those foods have their delicate flavor. MSG really makes it taste good.
So, countless research done over the last decade clearly states over and over again that MSG is safe. Basically, the belief that MSG is bad for you is hogwash that was spurred on by casual racism hiding behind science. The issue of MSG, like many others that use science, provokes an irrational fear in many consumers. But it is, in essence, something your body produces naturally and needs to function.
Whatever, Japanese.
Whatever.
It's get a close up. It's monosodium glutamate, and it says what you're supposed to do with it, where you're supposed to use it. You see, all those things you're supposed to.
Well, it's in Chinese. I can't read it.
What's the matter with you? I'm sorry, I thought you were a Chinese. No, I'm kidding.
So, the next time someone tells you they're allergic to MSG, tell them where the closest comedy club is.